Okay, so 3-year anniversary with working with RNT.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels amazing, to be honest. To think back 3 years ago, life has changed so much. Just my way of life and I guess quality of life with that as well is just changed so drastically. Still, well, I'm actually helping more people than ever, getting better results than ever, loving it more than ever, but also finally now actually see a future doing it as well.
What were some of the biggest differentiators in your quality of life over the last 3 years?
So I think when I think back to 3 years ago, I was up at the gym for 5:30 or 6 in the morning. I'd have gaps in the day, but potentially not then leaving till 9 at night. You can't really have a normal kind of social life or have normal relationships. I mean, I was with my wife at the time, but we were passing, like, I think the saying's like ships in the night, isn't it? Until Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, we'd then kind of be back together. In that time, we also had a son who, I'd like to think I'm quite an active dad, quite a present dad. I couldn't even imagine doing that with how I was living before.
Why is that? What's different now? Like, for example, could you have had a son and be doing the way you are as a dad in your previous sort of personal trainer lifestyle?
No, I didn't think it was possible, to be honest. And that's why I'd set the goal to be off the gym floor by 30. I knew that the in-person PT, although I enjoyed it, it just wasn't sustainable. And I didn't have a plan before I came across RNT. I hadn't planned to go online. I just knew I had to just stop the online just to try and get that lifestyle balance that would allow me to be the dad I wanted to be in the future. And it actually almost led to me leaving the industry just because I didn't see a way out in terms of that. I hadn't really considered online training. And so I thought, you know what, if I can't deliver these sessions at 5 in the morning, 9 at night, whatever, then how am I going to get enough money to get by with in person? And that's, when I started looking at RNT, and it's allowed me to have that lifestyle that I want now.
What did you think you would have done if you quit the industry?
I'd looked on job websites and scrolled through. As much as I'd been a trainer for 8 years, I was producing good results, so I felt like I was pretty highly qualified for that specific job. But as soon as if I was to step away from fitness, I think I'd be back at the bottom again. So I don't know, working a bank, I was literally just scrolling through the job sites and seeing where you could go in at an entry-level position. So
what was the reason for you even considering leaving? Because I know how passionate you are about health and fitness. I couldn't imagine you doing anything outside of health and fitness, because if you're not working, you're reading about or you're learning about something to do with fitness. What was driving you to the point of like, I can't do this anymore?
I think there was two things really. One was in the present was the lack of progression. I think as a PT, you get into the industry and your first form of progression is try and fill your diary up. That's great, but once your diary's full, where does that progression come from? Yeah, you can push prices up, but there's only so much you can do that. But also that progression is purely financial. Once you've got a full diary, you're helping X amount of people, but yeah, you might get better at helping them, but your impact can't evolve. And the job that you do on day one is exactly the same job as when you're 30, 40, 50. It's not that it's not great work, but it's the same thing every single time. So knowing that I'd done it for 8 years and that it was going to be just repeating those 8 years again and again and again until I made the choice to leave or quit or whatever, was definitely one big factor. And the other one was then looking forward to the future as well, knowing that while it was fine when it was just me and my partner, we wanted to have kids, and I just knew I wouldn't be able to be the dad that I wanted to be. And I joined gyms as a trainer back at 21, 22, 23, whatever. And I used to see the trainers who were 30, 35 or whatever, who were either starting to have families or already had families, and they were having to live the same lifestyle as me, which it just wasn't conducive to how I wanted to live my life as I got older.
But that was literally the reason why I started thinking about something had to be different with what I was doing. Because when I was a personal trainer at the gym floor, I started seeing my colleagues having kids, and they were coming in at 5, 6 in the morning, leaving at 9, 10 at night, turning out bleary-eyed every morning. And I asked them, how's it going as a new dad? They'd be like, I'm barely seeing, I don't really see my kid except for Sundays. And that was what got me thinking, something's got to change here, because otherwise that's me in 5, 10 years at the time. So I think that's something a lot of personal trainers and coaches, especially because there's a reason we don't see many personal trainers in their 40s. Right?
Yeah,
They either quit or the shelf life is just too long. It's a young person's game, right? There's just no longevity into it. The other thing you mentioned is around the career progression, and that in the training industry, there's no like big four, or there's no like standard. You go from this and you end up there. There's literally nothing, and you're capped in so many ways, whether it's in person or online. If you're sort of that sort of one-man band, self-employed trainer, there's only so far you can go. So what's changed for you with regards to your career progression? Like, how have you found that evolve from, say, just being a coach to now doing what you're doing now? Talk through that journey, because I think that's one of, when I think back on like the last 3 years, that's one of the most fulfilling aspects for me, seeing you develop like that.
Yeah, well, I think moving online, purely online, would have solved the being around for my son and having that more lifestyle balance, but it wouldn't have solved the first issue in terms of career progression. You're shackled by the same things in terms of client loads as you were when you're in person. You're going to max out your diary or your roster or whatever you want to call it, and then there's nowhere to go. And then you're helping people, which is brilliant, but that you're doing the same thing in day one as you would in day 1,000. And that's where RNT has just ticked that box so well for me. I've gone in, I've coached, and still coach now. But as I've progressed through the company, I've managed to add extra layers in. So to now be looking after the coaching team, so getting to help coaches progress themselves, help them get better results with clients, and also just help them transition to a better lifestyle as well for them. But then also in the tech side of things, we've obviously got our custom built platform being a massive part of getting that going. To think 3 years ago, I just come off the gym floor, so doing the average PT life. Now I'm in Zoom calls with tech meetings with international technology companies. Is amazing, and it just adds more layers to what you're doing. It keeps things interesting, and it allows you to then have a path and keep building on basically. And I think what's even better than, although the fitness industry doesn't have a set ladder, we're still missing that set ladder. But what's so good about RNT is you can almost create your own ladder, because we're growing so fast. There's so many different areas of the business. For me, that was, getting in more involved with the management of the coaches and then the technology side of things is brilliant, but that's only one path. That's not the set ladder you have to be in. If you're more interested in the research side of things, you can push down more into that. There's so many different avenues. You can almost create your own ladder.
And what's been cool over the last 3 years, I think we've tested a bunch of things to see what works, what doesn't work, what do you like, what do you not like. And I think that's been a cool part of it. And what I really loved around creating RNT as a platform, not just for the best place for our members to get in shape, build a sustainable lifestyle so you just stay in shape, but it's also for people like yourself and trainers and coaches to have a place where they can thrive and focus on the areas that they love, which may not include, and probably for many of them doesn't include, marketing and sales and administration and finance and all the other things that go into the business. Take care of all of that so you guys can focus on what your strength is, because everyone has their own strengths, right? Everyone has the things that they enjoy doing. And for me, it's like, how do we create that pathway for you to sort of thrive in, so you can add the most value and create the biggest impact possible?
Yeah, and every great coach I've met got into the industry to coach. But the problem is, when you do go down the self-employed route, you're not just coaching. You're coaching to directly, earn your money or to help your clients. But that's almost like the tip of the iceberg. Everything below water that no one sees is your marketing, your social media stuff. You're having to do your accounts. There's so much other stuff going on that, although you're what's got you into the industry is the coaching and helping people, that's actually becomes a smaller and smaller part of what you do. And that's, I think, it's such a brilliant part of being a part of RNT, because you come on as an employee, you have experts in all of these areas. So not only am I not having to worry about these things, but they're being done way better than I've ever done them before. And 100% of my focus, attention is on my clients, getting them the best possible results.
Absolutely. Talk about talk about what makes a good trainer, because you sift through a lot of CVs, you've read a lot of applications, probably more than most people have. What catches your eyes, and what do you look for when you're looking at trainers and whether they are RNT standard?
So I think the first thing is to be really passionate about transformation. And I think what that can sometimes get confused with is just being a passion for fitness. And transformation is a niche within the fitness industry. And so if you want to come to RNT, we're the leaders in transformation. So you need to have a real passion for transformation. There's loads of great yoga coaches out there, Zumba, whatever it is, and they all do brilliant things. As long as they're serving their clients well, then they're doing a great job. But if you want to come and work with us, you need to be passionate about transformation. It's not just the physical, but that full lifestyle transformation that we give our clients. This definitely needs to be proof of that. Great proof of that is going to come from just walking the walk yourself. If you're not staying in good shape, looking after your nutrition, training hard, doesn't mean you have to be an elite athlete, but you need to be putting that into practice yourself. Normally, there'll also be proof of that having helped people in the past as well. We're not expecting everyone to be producing the same quality of results as we are, but to show that you're putting that into practice and that this is an area that you want to be working in. Another big one is an openness to learn. I think a growth mindset is probably the best way to sum it up. We're not looking for everyone to have all of the answers when they come in the door. We don't have them still, but being obsessed with getting better, becoming better as a coach, but then also being able to deliver the clients better and better results, being obsessed by that and wanting to seek out the feedback to keep getting better. I think as long as those two things are in check, then you've got everything you need to become an amazing coach.
So walking the walk, being obsessed with learning, and
really just wanting to being obsessed with transformation, getting the best results you can.
I think what you've said is an important point, that you don't need to be the perfect article when you come in here. As long as you've got those attributes, will help you become as best as you can be, because we've got so many systems within that are going to help you to grow. Whether it's the mentorships that you guys are running, the education systems, there's so much you're going to learn as a coach and a trainer that you're never going to be, right? You're not going to rest on your laurels, because there's a joke we always have is like, if we see something that's 90%, we're like, well, why is it not 100? Or if it's like 60%, why is it not, we always looking at the gap. We never look at, what the actual number is. Yeah. It's always like, where's that missing gap? What's going on? I think it's that mindset that allows us to continue to improve, continue to innovate, but also it's why we're the worldwide leaders in this, and it's why we're going to continue to separate ourselves from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you do join RNT, not only do you get employed by a company, but you're now part of a team and a family who are all pushing really hard to be the best they can be on an individual and a group level. So not only are you going to get upskilled, but what you think is normal or what your average is now going to get pushed up. And so even just by surrounding yourselves by other people who are very good at what they do and are continuing to want to improve, your mentality, what you think is normal, your standards are all just going to get driven up just by association.
Yeah, your environment dictates your performance.
Yeah.
And just as like we have these specific cohorts for our members, it's the same within the team as well. It's just constant strive for better, constant strive for the mission that we're on. This is the closing sentiment. Why should anyone who is a trainer or coach watching this, potentially where you were 3 years ago, burnt out, about to leave the industry, no lifestyle, couldn't see your wife, all the other things I could add to this, to where you are now, why should someone apply right now?
I think if you're in the fitness industry right now and you enjoy it and you like helping your clients, you just got to ask yourself, do you want to make this a career? Do you want this to be a long-term thing? We've already touched on, you don't get many 40, 50-year-old, 60-year-old PTs out there. So what's the other option? Do you quit at 30 and then start at the bottom of a new career ladder that you're not passionate about? Or do you try and find a way of making this a sustainable lifestyle out of what you love?
What does the future hold for you? What are you most excited about?
I think it's just, when I look back 3 years ago, the way things have changed and grown in those 3 years, it feels like it should be like 10 or 15, the amount we packed in, to think like another 3, 5, 10. The growth is just going to be like exponential. So I think what we're doing now is almost going to be unrecognizable. The mission will be the same, but the impact we're having, I think the quality will only improve, but the quantity of the impact we're having is just going to skyrocket.
The best bit about being a part of a fast-growing company is the opportunities continue to improve and continue to grow as well. So I'm excited to see where the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years hold for you. And just want to say a massive thank you, and what a pleasure it's been to share the journey so far.
Oh, thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah.